chief guest for this valedictory function event is Mrs. Valli Kumar. Let me just give you a very brief introduction about her. So, Mrs. Valli, she started as even as a child, she was she's the Sanskriti, Samskara, and Sanskritam was imbibed in her even as a child through her journey as a Balavihar, Chinmaya Balavihar student, as well as a youth. As she entered her youth, she was also a member of Chinmaya Yuva Kendra. Even as a youth, the journey of Triple S continued in her life, and then she is a Karyakarta of Samskrita Bharati Chennai chapter for the last 13 years. And her teaching, her service of teaching Sanskritam is through her service of teaching Sanskritam, she has been able to reach so many students and do this noble service. And apart from this, she is also an art teacher, a passionate art teacher. She also learns art and also is teaching art for the last 15 years. So I'm sure she would have enjoyed the such variety of art and craft display that was done now. And now over to Valli ma'am for a few words.
सर्वेभ्यः भगिनी श्रूयते वा? नमस्कारः मम नाम वल्ली। सर्वे संस्कृतं जानन्ति वा? किञ्चित् संस्कृतं जानन्ति वा? पठितुम् इच्छा अस्ति? अग्रे नेक्स्ट कैम्प संस्कृतमपि पठन्तु सर्वे। इदानीं रामायणं पठितवन्तः, संस्कृतमपि पठन्तु सर्वे। अस्तु। It was very happy to see all the children perform. As Anusha Bhagini said, we were only fortunate to see a few snippets. You all have performed very well. I'm sure it has been a very happy occasion yesterday, seeing all your performance. So many varieties you all have done: drawing, coloring, then storytelling, shloka chanting, fancy dress, all that. Very happy that you all are into so much, doing so many things. I'm sure you have enjoyed the camp. First, I would like to thank Vyoma for giving this opportunity for me as well as for all the students. They are doing a wonderful job, because such Samskritis or such Vedanta Vishayas, Samskrita Vishayas, it's becoming very rare. We can't get it. Before there used to be a very joint family system. Party Tata, grandparents will tell you, then other relatives will tell you. You had many places where you can go in the evening and hear to such stories, learn shlokas. But these things are becoming very rare now. So they are doing a wonderful job of engaging children in such nice activities. And I know various other activities also Vyoma is conducting for various age groups in preserving the treasure which we have in our country. Actually, that is the real treasure, not the money, not the, what do you say, reserve bank. All that is not the treasure. This is actually the treasure of our country, not only of our country, of mankind, of world. You won't get such things anywhere else. So I pray that this organization grows big and reaches many people and spreads this knowledge of our Sanatana Dharma. And to all children, I'll tell you, you all are the very lucky few. There are crores and crores of children in this world who don't even know there is something called Ramayana. Even if they know, they don't have the opportunity to learn. Some people have the opportunity, they have all the modern equipments, but they are not having the mind to learn that. Now, all this combined together, you all are here with interest, coming here and learning for all these days. You all are the very lucky few. And I would like to appreciate the parents for taking the time to bring them. The best thing you can give to your children is this knowledge, which is very rare. Okay, now I'm telling so much. What you all are learning about Ramayana, about is very great. You may be all thinking, why? What is so great about it? We have so many other things to learn. Already we have so many subjects. Maths is there, science is there, geography, which is very important. The teachers gives us only mark if we know all this. What is the use of learning all this? Why should we learn? Such questions will be there in many of your mind. Why should we sit and learn all these things? Are we going to be given tests in this during exam? Are we going to get marks? This will be the thought. But I will tell you what you learn here. This is more than all those. Okay. I will tell you one small instance. Okay. But to know why this Sanatana Dharma or this moral education which you are having, the morality what you are learning is important. Okay. Now they think of, there are two scientists. Okay. Both of them are very good students, first ranked students. They learned, they performed very well in their school, college, university, everything. They were very great scientists. They were able to develop so many, invent so many things. But what happened? One scientist, he put all his effort day and night and invented some things which are very useful for mankind. Okay. But the other scientist took all the time to find something which will destroy mankind. Now, what is the difference between these two scientists? Both of them were very good students. They had learned very well. They had scored the full mark or 100% mark, which usually everybody aims for in their college, school, everywhere they performed well. Then what was the difference? Why one is able to produce something which is good to mankind, whereas the other person with the same knowledge of science is thinking of doing something to destroy mankind? What is the difference? If you really analyze, one person has been grown with moral education or moral values. He's been brought up like many of y'all here with parents teaching them good values and other things. Then such a person, when he gets the knowledge, it will be useful for the society. So the knowledge alone is not important, but what you learn, what you perform, like what in schools and colleges. But this value, this education which you are getting, value education through our Sanatana Dharma and through our Indian culture and Sanskriti will be the one which is going to decide in which way that knowledge which you have learned is going to be helpful. There is no use if they know everything and they are going to produce some bomb and kill people. What is the use of that science? Even they are using chemistry, they are using physics, they are using geography, but there is no use. But if all these are used for feeding more people, for producing more crops, for better distribution, when you use the knowledge, then only it is useful. And this can be only done when you have the Samskriti. We call it as, this is what we call it as Samskriti, when we have the good moral values. This you will get from the various scriptures, the various Sanatana Dharma way of living. When you do, we get this and also the other knowledge which will be put to good use. That is more important than just the knowledge. That is why all these becomes important. And not only that, even in our own Sanatana Dharma, in our own scriptures, in our own Shastras, there is lot of science and Shastra. The very word Shastra means it is science. It is something which even before the other world, the other part of the Western world knew so many scientific and mathematical knowledge, we had them in our scriptures. Because we didn't know to use it, that is, we didn't know the language, we thought always, because we were ruled by people from the other part, other continents, we thought they were more great and ours were not good, and we stopped learning all this. And now it is all gone. Now people like in Vyoma and other laboratories are now trying to bring back all those things and present it to us well. It is like they are doing a great service that way. It is very important where knowledge is also combined with moral values and Sanatana Dharma. That's what I told you. This country was very rich. Now, if you go and see any temple, for example, you would have gone to see many temples like the Tanjavur temple, Brigadishwara temple, or the Hampi. If you go see the architecture and all those things, they are so advanced. Do you think if they didn't know science or maths, they could have constructed such an accurate building? Those are all standing as our proof to tell you that we were very much advanced in all these things. That is why we were able to build such a thing. If a person, if they say they know very well all the Shastras, they knew very well language, but they didn't know science, then how could they should know all chemistry, they should know physics, they should know geography, then only they can construct such a building. Every knowledge is used in that, isn't it? So all those are showing as a proof that our Shastras also were what you are learning as modern science now were known to us much before that, but because our lack of losing the language and losing the Shastras, we have forgotten about that and we had to learn it. Actually, in this country, every knowledge was taught and used for improving the society or improving oneself, and through that, the society. Now you all learned Ramayana, isn't it? First, I would like to tell you one thing. If anybody calls Ramayana a mythology, please don't use that word mythology for Ramayana. You say Ramayana is a itihasa. That is the right way of saying. You would have seen in books or sometimes in quiz and all, they using the term mythology in Indian mythology. Ramayana, in Indian mythology, Mahabharata. Please don't use that word. Mythology means it's a myth. It is not a myth. It is Satyam, what happened. That's why we use the term Itihasa. From now onwards, all children should say Itihasa. Ramayana and Mahabharata are the two Itihasas. Okay, that you refer to Ramayana as Itihasa. Okay, you learned Ramayana, Samkshepta Ramayana of Balakanda. Okay, so you know about the great King Ram. Think of King Ram. He was such a great man. He was such a famous king. He was almost like a ruler for the entire Bharat. You also saw the Bharat Darshan of where all Rama had his. How could he be? If suppose, think of any person, modern person who is like a king now. If his father says, I have promised somebody you go to Vana, will anybody do now? Now Rama did. Why? Because he had the value that my parents, I should listen to my parents, or my Pitur Vakyam is very important. I should go by that. See the values you are getting, and look at the values, the brothers, how united they were, how they are able to give to each other. The whole Rajya, he says, I don't want. It is my brothers and I will not rule. I will just stay in a small Gramam, Nandi Gramam, and with his Paduka, I will rule. That was the love he had for his brother. So many values we have in Ramayana. And also, and as I told you, this is not just a myth as told, it is an itihasa that happened so many years back. We have many scientific proofs also now to show that such a dam, Setu, which he crossed and went to Lanka, that exists and that was built many years back, all those things. So with that strong conviction that it happened, no, I don't allow anybody or don't believe when anybody says it as myth. So you all are good that you all are learning that great Ramayana, which is the itihasa of this country. Okay. Now, as I told you, we have many treasures in this land, in this Sanatana Dharma, which we are unaware of it. So what happens? Because we are unaware of it, we think we are a very poor country. We don't have anything. Everything is known only to the Western world and we feel very bad about it. We don't feel proud in learning our own scriptures and things. I'll tell you one small story. Okay, all children like story. There was one Bhikshuka. Bhikshuka means beggar. He was a very poor person. His father was also a beggar. His grandfather also was a beggar. So all these people, only their job was to beg. They were sitting in front of one place and they were begging every day. So when the grandfather passed away, the father was sitting there and begging. After his father's time, the son sat there and he started begging. Then he didn't have any son. So he was sitting and begging. So he told the other beggars who were nearby, he told, if from many, my grandfather, father, everybody sat here and begged. So after my death, please bury my body here itself because I've been begging here for so many years. So the other beggars also agreed. They said, okay, when you pass, we will bury you here. After a few years passed by, that poor beggar became old and he died. So the other friends, his friends who were there, they were telling, this person he was wishing always that he should be buried here. Let us fulfill his wish. Let us bury his body here. Then what they did, they started digging the ground. And suddenly they heard a noise. Then what is this noise? Then they started digging more and more. Then they realized there is a big golden pot inside there with lots of valuable ornaments, gems, stones, diamonds, everything inside that big golden pot. Now what happened? This poor beggar has been staying on top of that pot for generation. Not only his father, his grandparents, everywhere were sitting on the golden pot and they were begging for small money, few rupees or few coins. They were putting their arms and begging without knowing that they are sitting on top of a treasure. Even our sthiti is samanam. We are also like that. We have a great treasure in our Sanskriti, in our Sanatana Dharma. But without knowing that, we think everything else outside, from outside when it comes, it's more valuable. We spend our money, energy, everything in getting that. Nothing wrong. Even that is important. We should get. But also know that this is a treasure which is going to be more valuable than all those. So you should be, it is so close to you. You are just sitting on it. So you make the best use of it and try to get as much as possible. So next time also, when they are having such camps, you should be able to participate and learn more, because in our dharma, in our shastra, we believe making one person good makes the entire society. Each person, by changing himself, by becoming a better person, what will happen? The whole world will become good. That is why more focus is on self-discipline, on dharma. Everybody, when they follow their dharma, when everybody are truthful, when everybody are having values, then the whole world will have good values. It will be a better place than trying to change that and making all the unnecessary things. If each one in the society changes, it will be making the whole world change. There is one small story in Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's. There was a father, okay? He had a son who was always want to play and engage and do something. So every time he was very active. So the father, what he used to do, he used to give him some work and keep him engaged. Okay, you finish this work, by then the father will finish his work. He will give some jigsaw puzzle or something like that. The child was very smart. He used to finish it in no time and come. So the father thought, I must give him something, a difficult task, which he will take a long time, so that by then I can finish my work. So what he took a world map, and you know world map, all of you would have seen those world maps with small lines there and here with countries marked. So he tore that world map into pieces. He said, now arrange this properly. So he thought, by then he arranges this world map, it will take a long time. I will finish all the work and come. So he went. The boy, for his surprise, just came back in a very short time and he said, I have arranged. The father was very surprised. I'm sure he can't do it that fast. So he asked, how did you manage to do it so fast? Then the boy said, no, at the back of that map, there was a picture of a man. I made the man correct and the whole world became correct by itself. So that is our way of doing. Everybody refine, change, become better, and the whole world will become a beautiful place to live in. With such children, with children like you who are being trained and interested in such activities at such young age, I'm sure if more people join like this, in the coming days, the world will be a very lovely place to be. Okay, so continue your learning of scriptures, and whenever you get time, tell some shlokas. So now you may understand, you may not understand. Later, definitely it will be of very good help. And once again, I would like to congratulate the parents for taking time to make your children involved in such activities, and Vyoma Labs for conducting such camps where I know people of various field, from various field who are very varishtas, who are very well known, have taken time to contribute to this organization, which is doing a great effort in reviving and taking this Sanatana Dharma to many common people. Thank you. Hari Om. Namaskar.
Dhanyavadaha, Valli Bhagini. Humble thanks from Vyoma for giving such an encouraging speech to all of us, and stressing on the importance of moral education that has to be inculcated in children. And I'm sure all of us have been inspired to stay rooted in the root knowledge that Bharat has to offer us. And then once this is established, then it is easier to put our material knowledge that we are learning parallelly to put the material knowledge to best use, we need to stay rooted in our values. And that is an important message that you have driven to us today through this beautiful speech. And I'm sure children are all truly inspired to take up the richness of Bharatiya Shastras and to stay rooted in Sanskriti, Sanskritam, and Samskara, and to be socially conscious people, staying rooted in Dharma always. Thank you once again for those lovely words of inspiration and encouragement, Valli Bhagini.